So you want to know what the Labour approach is to Brexit, and it's a very important question. And I think we have to begin with the baseline, which is that the Labour Party campaigned to remain in the European Union. We are internationalists. We are in favour of Europe. We would like to remain in Europe. And indeed the majority of our voters voted to remain in the European Union. We were pretty united as a party campaigning to remain in the European Union. But the truth is that we had a referendum, and the nation spoke, and they want to leave. And we as a national party have a responsibility to ensure that we do as we're told. In the end, we're public servants, and we do what the public says. And the public wants us to leave the European Union, and so we can't get in the way of that. And we've made that perfectly clear right from the outset. We will not get in the way of us leaving the European Union. So how do we go about doing that? The difficulty is that during the referendum, it was not clear, although people voted to leave, it was not clear on what basis we were going to leave, what our continuing relationship with Europe would be, what kind of Brexit we would want. And really the debate was a confusion of different ideas and different promises, and many of them are just not achievable. And some of them achievable, but not necessarily with the other ones. And there is this kind of central contradiction. And we have been pressing since Brexit. We've been pressing the government to be clear about what its negotiating position is. What is their vision for leaving the European Union? Because until we have some clear ideas from the government, we cannot have a debate in Britain to work out whether that's acceptable or whether it isn't, what the trade-offs are, what the priorities are for the British people. And we have had nothing. 170 days before we triggered Brexit, I asked 170 questions. And the answer from the British government was, we're not going to answer any of those questions. So we then said, okay, well, if you're not going to do that, then, at least give us some idea of what your negotiating position is. And they said, well, no, because we want to keep our cards close to our chest. To which we said, well, what cards? What game are you playing? What do you want to achieve? Please don't tell us that you need to keep it secret, because do you know what? The first day you go off and you negotiate with all those other countries, they have my email. They will send us what your negotiating position is. Is it not better to have a debate in Britain now, so that when Theresa May goes to Brussels, she can actually say with confidence, I'm negotiating on behalf of Britain, because we have had a debate in Britain and we have an idea of what it is that we want to achieve. And so our first job as the opposition has been to try to pull from the government what it is that their vision is. And we have had something. We have had some successes. But unfortunately, it's not been a very good success. They have not been clear about what it is that they want. They say that they want to have tariff-free, red tape-free access to the single market. We say, great, let's do that. But they also want to pull out of the European Court of Justice. They want to have control over borders. They want to have sovereignty. You cannot have all these things all at the same time. What the Labour Party says is that the first priority of any government has to be the safety and security of its citizens. The second priority must be the economy. Nobody, whether they voted to leave or whether they voted to remain, voted to be poorer or for their job to go. And that has to be a priority. And that seems to us to be the first thing that we should be seeking to achieve more than anything else. So we will be holding the government to account. We will be keeping at them. They have now conceded that Parliament will have a vote on the final deal. But that means that they need to bring us with them, because we might vote against it otherwise. And what we don't want is a bad deal or no deal. We need to have a good deal, and we need to have a deal on behalf of 100%, not on behalf of 52% or an extreme part of the 52%, and not on behalf of the 48%, but something which is actually a good deal for the whole of the UK. And that has to be one that prioritises the economy.